This is Jared from Commit Quality, and today we're going to go over the post method in Postman. Assuming you've watched all my previous Postman videos, up until now, we've been working only with GET request. That's for the board API and the JSON placeholder. The GET request is just something that retrieves data. Now we're going to go over a new method called post. And a post request is one that creates new data. It has a request body, which is the data we want to send, and you can have parameters in the body, header and URL. And each time you call a post request, new data gets created. So that's the difference between these. This one creates new data, and the GET request just retrieves data. So making unlimited GET requests is fine. It just retrieves different data or the same data. It doesn't have a request body and parameters are only passed via headers or the URL. So let's make a post request calling the JSON placeholder. So just so you're aware, I've gone to the documentation, which I'll put a link in the description, and I've gone to the creating resource section where I can see here we've got the URL and endpoint we need to use and the method type and what we can add as part of the body. So let's just take this first. Of course, we've already got the base URL set up, so we just take it the post endpoint. In Postman, I'm going to duplicate one of my GET request methods. I'm going to rename it, and it's going to rename creating a resource. I'm going to change the method from get to post, and oh, there we are. We already used the post. I'm just going to get rid of that path variable and save that for now. And like I said, the difference with this post and get is we're going to create something. So now we're going to use the body tab in the request, and I'm going to change from none to raw, and I'm going to select the type to JSON because that's what we're going to be passing through. So in here, I'm going to pass through, I believe they were telling us in the documentation to use title, body, and user ID. So I'm just going to copy those from here. I'm going to paste it in here, and I'm going to change this to commit quality. The body is subscribe. And we'll leave the user ID as 1. That's completely fine. Now, what we've seen is this is all going red because we're not using the right syntax. So with JSON, we want to use double quotes for the key. We've then got the colon, and then we've got whatever the details are for this. I'm going to say double quotes commit quality, and we're going to rinse and repeat that for the rest. So the key of body, colon, and then whatever the value is for this. And once again, the same for user ID. So we can actually keep that as 1 because that's completely fine. We'll remove the comma at the end because that's the last property we're sending through. Now, all I have to do now is hit send, and we can see it's created this new resource called commit quality, body of subscribe. The user ID is 1, and because we didn't set an ID, it looks like it's defaulted to set whatever that is. Now, remember that this is just a mock, so nothing really gets created. If you're using a real API that interacts with the server, you would actually be creating something each time, but in this case, it's a dummy. Nothing is actually getting created, so just bear that in mind. If I was to search for this user ID, it was 101, wasn't it, the ID? That's the one that defaulted, so hit send. See, nothing's come back. But in a real API that actually connects to a server, you could do your post, do your get, and you should see the resource you've just created here. We can also see the 201 status code has come back to state that it's been fulfilled and a resource is created. Of course, it's imaginary. That's just simply how we can create resources using the post method. Now, we've touched on we're using JSON here to create one. This is just creating a single resource. But what if you actually want to add multiple? Well, you can do that. We can say, let's create an array here. So square brackets there and here to say, here's my objects. Let's just tab these so it makes it a bit prettier. And now what I can do is I can create this first one and then say comma and create a new object. So I'm just going to copy this again. And I'm going to say commit quality. Or let's just say commit subscribe please, and user ID on this one can be 2. If I hit send now, it's gonna create two resources for me. One which has commit quality subscribe in the user ID of 1, and then we've got another object with commit subscribe please with a user ID of 2, and both look like they've defaulted to ID. So I just want to show how you can add multiple objects inside your body as well. And that's it. That's how simple it is with a post request. The key thing I want you to take away from this is the difference with post is creating resources, whereas get is just retrieving data. So you've got to be a bit more careful with posts because you could keep adding data and data and data, whereas with gets, you can make as many requests as you want. As always, if you do have any questions, please drop a comment below. A like and subscribe is appreciated. Thanks for watching.